Today, we will listen to Zeljko. With over 15 years of experience in marketing, sales, startups, agencies, corporations, education, and consulting, what you haven't done, sorry. What you haven't done. This is like a huge list of things. Zeljko Bosnjak has seen innovation from every angle. Today, he brings this expertise as innovation lead at ICT Hub, one of the key players in the local and regional innovation ecosystem for the past decade. He will talk about how Gen Z is changing the rules of user experience. I'm looking forward to hear that one. Generation Z is rewriting the rules for brands, expecting speed, personalization, and authentic communication. Zeljko will explore what the new UX means for the product and services we create today. Please welcome on stage Zeljko Bosnjaković.
First of all, to thank Ana and Dragan and the whole team for inviting me second year in a row. Of course, it's because that ICT Hub is silver partner and I'm here, but probably the lecture from the last year the feedback was solid one, huh? I think it was good. Now, topic is a little bit strange because I'm not Gen Z. I'm far from that. 41 years old, speaking about Gen Z, so not a good start. But the context why I am speaking about this topic is actually because I'm working on the projects for different clients that they want to approach to Gen Z. And when the first project arrived, I was like, okay, it's a lonely case who is thinking about Gen Z. Because in most companies, Gen Z are not in the profit loss report. They're not spending a lot. They're not, how can I say, they are not representing the big bucket of money in portfolio of companies. But somehow companies are now thinking how to approach them, because I think the narrative is they're too much different from us. Like probably millennials are the closest to the Gen Z, but I don't know. But anyhow, after a couple of projects and after spending, I think, more than 17, 80, 90 interviews that I did with different kind of people, representatives from Gen Z, I found a lot of interesting things. I also have two kids. They are not Gen Z. They are entering in Gen Z, but they are acting as a Gen Z. Probably now it's getting much faster than before. So I would start with this picture, because probably this will be my room when I was Gen Z back then. Of course, there were no sexy names like Gen Z millennials. It was just a room full of posters. So probably some of them will recognize some of these things. For me, Tetris it was miracle. And I strongly suggest whoever is in the product business to watch the movie Tetris, because it talks a lot about the product development, and also Netflix documentary Toys That Made Us. It also talks about a lot about product development, and you will find a lot of interesting information. This is my first love, Anica Dobra. Crni Bombarder is the name of the movie. I don't know how to put it in English. So probably this will be, some of them will say, okay, it's not Tupac, it's maybe some rock band or metal band, but anyhow, you understand me. And today, when you look at Gen Z, I found it's actually a toothpaste. It's cost almost 10 euros, and it's selling like crazy, you know. I don't understand, because I thought that Curaprox and these paste against some illness are the most expensive ones, but Hello Smile is killing them, like, for sure. DeVito, I listened to a couple of songs. I would say not too bad. Some of them I even listen in my car. My wife don't understand that, but my kids are approving this. Pancakes in my period was not like this. You know, so it's tasty. it's tasty, but they didn't look like this. Probably my friends will kill me if I enter. Vans Zocs are also popular in my period, but to put this like this, no. It was, yeah, German tourists, yeah. So the worst thing of white Zocs on a black shoes, it's this. This is what Italian said to me one day. Okay, so the question really is, do we understand them? And some people will say, especially the HR managers, when you are listening to them, when they're hiring young people, they are requesting too much, they are requesting salaries they don't deserve, they are like pushy, direct. I would say I really like this, because in 2009, when the crisis started, I finished my university, and when I went to the interviews, I just say, I want to work anything you have. But you're overqualified. No, I want to work whatever you have. In this moment, I want to work. So I started as an agent in a call center, and if you ask guys today if they want to start as an agent in a call center, probably they will say no. So language. Language for me, when I started interviewing young people, it was really nice to see. My favorite is the Lulu, for sure. And glow up, even you have now education, two young, they're brothers, they're doing an education in a way that if you want to glow up, you can do it through our education. Probably they are selling courses, I don't know, probably whatever, whatever is today on internet, it has some customers right now. What I want to say with this is, when I'm doing a research from the side of the companies, because most of the companies, they're having specific landing pages for the Gen Z generation, like specific products and everything, copywriting is not adapted to the Gen Z at all. Pictures, I will not say about even pictures are even worse than copy, but the copy is not adapted to the Gen Z. So I always tell the guys, and especially the brand managers in the companies, easy fix, do the copy. This is the most easiest fix that you can do. You don't need technology, you don't need nothing. I think even the Chat GPT is more close to Gen Z than you are. So probably I think it will be a good fix. But look, for example, core as a word is very similar even to us with 40, 50 years. So they didn't go much further, you know. So most of the words are really, you know, like self-explanatory, but especially the Lulu. This is what I really like. For example, this format in real life, IRL, this is killing it right now. So the number of the views, engagement, and everything is happening right now on the TikTok and YouTube through this format is crazy. And if, for example, if 40 or 40 years old is watching this, you will say this is totally nonsense. This is totally bullshit. But on the other hand, most of the Gen Z generation, this is one of the most popular content formats right now. So if you didn't hear about that, I strongly suggest you to listen to a couple of RELs locally, globally, to see what is happening right now. Who they are. The youngest Gen Z, it's around 10, 11. The oldest one is 27, 28. And believe me, the difference between 11 and 27 is big difference. Why I'm saying this? Because most companies are seeing Gen Z as a whole, you know, and you are having different kind of segments in this age. 30% of global population, so a really nice portion of people. Short attention spans. I think we're hearing this in the last 20 years when internet explodes and social media explodes. I think short attention span is always there. And personalization, yes, but not in the way like you're thinking, like sexy user flow, step one, step through, like that kind of things. Sometimes it's totally okay to give something to the Gen Z that they can relate to. I will try to give a couple of examples afterwards. And of course, one blended experience from the moment when Travis Scott has a concert in the video game. in the fortnight, and a couple of days afterwards having a concert in Berlin, with actually some kids being in the offline concert, you can imagine what they can expect from the brands in the next period of time. UX shifts, user experience shifts. I'm also lecturing, and a lot of people, young people, Gen Z generation, will coming to my lectures. You know, they're saying that I'm stupid, that I'm paying YouTube Premium for €7 because I can do it via VPN and do it for €1. Also, I learned that even airplane tickets are in incognito mode, less. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So I didn't know that, and it's a really nice trick. So a lot you can learn from the young people. Step-by-step guide. I know that when I was working in Philip Morris, when we launched ICOS, we have like classic step-to-step guide. First day, second day, 7th day, 12th day, 20th day, 30th day. Now the younger generations, it's enough to put one TikTok video to explain everything in one video. You know these trakice za nos, I don't know how to say it in English, so it's exploding right now. I think every young kid is now want to have these things. I tried because I'm snoring really hard, and it's not helping me. But when I'm having this on my nose, even older people ask me, "Is it working? You know, is it good? You know, like." And I said, "Man, you give €10, you try and you see. You know what's wrong with you." And the younger kids, they are not thinking. They want to try. You know, so it's €10. What I can lost. Search. Google is still dominating. I will not be like Google is dead, you know. No, Google will not be dead for probably a long time. But TikTok, Reddit, and ChatGPT is taking a big portion of the search, and Gen Z is contributing a lot. The industries that are more impact, it's tourism. So right now, for the tourist industry, for the tourism, most of the search, especially the younger people, are doing through ChatGPT and Gemini. So where should I go to Amsterdam? Okay, maybe in Amsterdam they already know, but for other cities, you will get a tour guide, you will get accommodation list, everything. Reviews and stars, it's cool. You know, Google locations, Google My Business, still it's relevant, especially for the food industry. But right now, influencer, UGC, user-generated content, is something that is killing. It's killing when we're talking about the trust of the product. TikTok comments, you cannot believe. So if you have time, like I do, you can go through some comments on some products and see what is happening. So it's a treasure. Really treasure. Like loyalty, points and discounts, yes, still, but non-transactional benefits are really important to them. So if you want to give them to buy gadgets for the video gaming 24 hours before everyone has an entrance for the Black Friday, this would be a good benefit. I saw this one benefit of the loyalty program here. This totally resonates with Gen Z. I will talk a little bit about also, okay, UX tolerance. You will all say that we are not tolerant to glitches. Probably you are right. We can be really picky when we are using applications, but the Gen Z, they are expecting just everything to work. And I will show one example from the bank industry, like really concrete one. Unlearn maybe is a too strong word, you know, but just rethinking what you're doing right now. Long user service, use microfeedback. I got an interview, I got an NPS from an espresso like 2 months ago. 20 minutes I filled. I was filling up the survey, and I finished it. I honestly finished it. But at the end of this survey, I say, what? I have my spare time. When my wife asks me, like, can you do this? And I say, no, I will kill myself because I spent 20 minutes of filling up some service. Microfeedbacks, of course, emojis and reactions. So if you're having an online business, if you're having an e-commerce site, if some young young men or women are finishing the transactions, put the pop-up just saying, is it good? Is everything good with your transactions? Are you satisfied? Finish. You have a feedback, you know, is it your consumer experience on the website is good or not? Feature-packed products, minimal core utility, what does it mean? When Zara launched the e-commerce here, I was on my job, surrounded with the Gen Z, with the woman Gen Z. The products, of course, they ordered to come to work. Products came, and this excitement, because of the product packaging, this white paper with one golden stick, you cannot imagine. It was screaming, and they even didn't see the product. But it was the most simplest product packaging that I ever seen. Like white paper and one golden stick, that's it. Generic personas, dynamic microsegmentation. Dynamic microsegmentation is looking pretty sexy. Well, in Serbia, probably nobody did this so far till today. But when I say microsegmentation, I'm just talking that you need to enrich the personas that you have with the habits. And this is where most companies are mistaking. So if you don't know what is Steam, if you don't know what is Discord, if you don't know what is IRL, then you don't know your Gen Z generation. A/B testing to that with this generation is crazy because the habits are changing very quickly. And I would say maybe if you cannot A/B testing to that, just try to track what is happening around you. It's much easier today than it was 10 years ago. So doing a product research, doing a desk research now, it's much easier than 10 years ago. This is the picture from the bank. So when the banks are thinking how they approach to the younger audience, you will see this design. Probably there are some designers here that will say it's shit. But what I notice is that the young people, they want all these things that you see on the slide. So to work and be stable, transactions to be in real time. So they still don't believe that their money will be in the same minute on their account. This is really important to say. So they don't believe in that. Home screen with account balance and transactions, that's it. Maybe you can put some colors, maybe you can put some different icons, I don't know, but checked. Transparency, when I enter the transaction, I want to see every details. Believe me, even still today, I'm talking about Serbia, you cannot find out. To find the transactions in your list of transactions, it's, you know, like you need an AI search. Low provisions, of course. This generation is really price sensitive, and it was always like this. So you don't have money, you are trying to pull out the month till the end. I saw one article from US, which is for me really scary one, that in America you can see your credit score. So what does it mean? In your bank app you can see the number which is representing your score on the table. And based on that score you can get credits and other loans. So of course when you are starting as a Gen Z, especially 18, 19 years old, your score will be below the average because you are young, you just started to work. But does the Gen Z understand that? And they do the research that there are more pressure on the younger generations to be successful and to earn money earlier than ever before. So you need to think about that because they're really, really price sensitive. That's why you have low provisions, because they are exchanging money with their parents, between themselves. So when I say low provisions, I mean no provisions. 24/7 support. When you're entering some specific industries like finance, when you basically don't have knowledge about the money. I know for other countries, but in Serbia generally people do not know much about finance and money, and this is a problem that is generally present in our country. But for the younger people, they need support. And I will also show one more example how actually companies are missing in the user experience and the product development, this part. Easy process to put card into the wallet. In some banks, it's better to have physical card. In some banks, they even don't have wallet right now in Serbia. We're talking about 21st century. Probably when we have open banking in some year, next or year after that, or year after that, we will see some real fintech here in this country. So this is the slide that I showing often to people and to guys on my lectures. So this part, from the moment when somebody is purchase your product, most companies, I'm talking also about the region, about Serbia, and generally companies in the world are missing this part. Why? Because if you look at the KPIs, especially startups, because your investor is more interested about this, how many customers you are pulling in. But I know, because I was on that place, that even the smaller companies, startups, are really important to measure NPS, how the existing customers are satisfied with the product. Because when you are small, this is your plus, because you can speak with your customers. So in most companies, for the younger generations, they have email, SMS, and Viber. Viber is Serbia and Ukraine are, I think they are the only countries in the world where Viber is dominating the chat platforms. Like really killing WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger. But when you're speaking with the younger audience, what you think, what they are using? This is, when you ask them top 3 applications, it will be WhatsApp and TikTok. They are using Viber, but for their parents, grandmothers, and when I asked them why WhatsApp over Viber, because I told them like it's the same. I provoked them. I told them like it's the same application. What the fuck? This is yellow, green. This is purple. What is the difference? And they say it's more smooth. It's working faster, which is really true. So yes. So if you are using Viber, you have lags. If there is there any people who play Counter-Strike here? So you know what the lag means. I play Counter-Strike after 15 years. I end up in some server with the Russians and Ukrainians, because I'm from Serbia. They're all very younger, because they asked me how many years I have. I have 41, and they started speaking in English and doing some shortcuts, And this shortcut means where should I go, and I didn't know nothing. Like, what the fuck? I played the country. I even have the clan when I was young, but I didn't understand nothing. So WhatsApp is the main channel for them. And if you are missing this, some companies are saying WhatsApp is expensive. Okay, but this is a small portion of your database. So if you really care about your audience, you will use this. These are the 2 examples from the world. Probably you know both of them, but for me, Spotify, they locked the whole Gen Z generation with this, like really locked. Like still companies are offering Deezer, YouTube Music, but the Gen Z is like, they use only Spotify. They're using Deezer if it's free. Nike sneakers app, FOMO as a feature. Look, these limited edition shoes, I think Nike now is overreacting with that, but still with Gen Z generation is when you have something which is limited, not necessarily expensive, but limited is something that the younger generations really like. What I want to, because I heard on a couple of things that guys, the younger generation don't listen, don't watch podcasts, or I don't know, digital gaming, of course. So this red line is Gen Z, and the gray line is all other people. So you will see that Gen Z generation, in a nutshell, it's more active. Voice assistants, very interesting, because I did a research about the smart watches with the kids, with the younger kids, because my kids are 8 and 9. The first contact with the technology is the smartwatch. in most cases. And when they are using smartwatch, it's like in Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles. If you know, when turtles are speaking with Splinter, they're doing like this. So the kids are doing like this. It's totally not natural for us to speak like this. And when they are changing the watch with the phone, they're continuing to doing this on the YouTube and everything. And when you, as an older, like with 41, I tell my daughter, like, what the fuck are you doing? Type it. Yeah, this is even more scary. Yeah. But this is natural. So the end result is very easy to see. But I wanted to, you know, to go back and to see the real reason for that. Bigger credit limit. So I say there is also one research that I didn't put here. So this year, for the first time, the holiday spending for the Gen Z will be much lower than the last year. So in US, it will be expected to be lower 22%. So there is a big pressure on the younger generation. The big crisis is happening. I don't need to tell you that, but you need to take into the consideration when you are planning to do something, and if your main target audience is Gen Z. I put this guy, like really interesting, and for me this is a really good example. Raiffeisen didn't pay me. I'm not promoting them, but what I'm saying is this is the first company that introduced online registration of bank account for the younger generation. Very simple. I tested. It lasts around 20 minutes. It can be better. The UX can be better, but anyhow, it's present for them. What they did, they used, unfortunately, the technique from the betting industry, so you get a welcome bonus of 3,000 dinars when you finish the registration, without any limitations, any conditions, and everything. So if you look, if the cost per acquisition is a little bit higher than 3,000 dinars for the bank, it's really, really, really low. So, and they did, I think they're the only bank who did the UGC with the influencers. Look at the engagement here. It's crazy. It's really crazy. So Google is still the dominating, but ChatGPT is taking a lot of portions. So for less than year and a half, it's over the Bing. So this is what we need to take in consideration, because the whole consumer journey and the user experience will be much shorter than we are expecting. Dragana, yeah, you assure me. I will try to be. That's it. So if you design for the Gen Z the way you design for millennials, you're already one generation behind. That's it. Thank you. Može bez mikrofona, ja mislim.
Okay, so thanks, excellent presentation, and I've heard Gen Z presentations before, so I was very skeptical, but you actually nailed it a lot better than a lot of highly paid consultants do. So, as after the compliment, so how do we...
Just to interrupt you, sorry, because my daughter was not believing me, because before this, usually on the Saturday, after the lunch, I went to the bed and I'm sleeping for 1 hour. And I dressed like this, and my daughter asked me, well, where do you go? I said, I'm doing a lecture. And she knows that I'm doing lectures, but what you will talk about younger people. And this was like this. But it will be okay.
Okay, so another thumbs up from me. Anyway, my question is, so how do we bring Gen Z closer to stakeholders? Because I'm a researcher too, and I'm kind of more open to all of these things, which I think are, by the way, common sense, not just for Gen Z, but for everybody. But stakeholders, they want other things. They don't want no nonsense. They are thinking about getting money from Gen Z. by other means, not by great UX. So how do I bring a stakeholder who is older than you, closer to actual Gen Z users?
I know people are smiling, but I'm okay with it because I know that I'm getting older, and it's okay. First of all, if you have luck, like I do on some meeting, the board, the director of the board will have 2 young kids that are Gen Z generation. And when I'm speaking about these things, after every sentence he said to me, if you don't have this situation, I would say benchmark analysis would help, probably, in a way that you will compare not only to the local players but also to the global ones. Also, I think one thing will help is to see how this are working for, you know. So for some companies, Gen Z is really important, and for some of them, you need to, if they're important in 10 years from now, basically you need to give them a bigger perspective, you know. So this can help in a way to bring this generation to the stakeholders. Thank you.